Mike said you guys are taking a long look at the red zone this week. What do you feel like are maybe some of the biggest issues down there for you guys?
I think the thing is we just got to stay on schedule on first and second down. I think that's a big thing. And then it's always about playmaking down there. We got to make plays and we got to find plays. And I don't think we're far off. I definitely don't think that. I think we've played 2 tough games over the past 2 weeks, and I believe in us. I know how capable we are, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the next 6+ games.
How much can you draw on past experience of playing in the red zone? You've had a lot of success throughout your career playing in the red zone. Can you draw from that at all, or is this just a completely new offense?
No, 1,000%. I think we study, just everything. I think we study, what the things we've done well. I think that's the first thing, and do more of it. I think that's one thing. I think the second thing is figure out where we're missing. We've had a little third and longs a lot down there. It seems like, and so we got to make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance to run all of our red zone plays that we practice and do everything that we're prepared to do. I think that's important. I think obviously in Washington we hit some things. I think the Giants we should have had a few more. They're so you can't look at the whole part of it and you just got to look forward to the next game, the next moment, the next time you're down there. I think that's a big thing about red zone football. It's the same thing with third downs always, and the mentality of that. Same thing with the game in general. It's just you play the next play. And I think that's where, I think the most important thing is that we've been fortunate to, be winning a lot of games and everything else. And I think, the reality is that, if we light up the red zone, we got a really good chance to do something special. So that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to the success of it.
Russ, it may be similar, but what are some of the issues with third and fourth and short, converting on those?
I think we got to continue to look. I don't want to say too much. I think that, but in terms of like scheme or thoughts, but I think at the end of the day, we got to find a way to get converted. And maybe it's break a tackle, maybe it's just find a way to just find a way to find a way. I think that's what it is, especially when 3rd and 1, 4th and 1s. It's all of us together, and I think we know that we're capable of that. And I think you can't. I think it's so tough to just look at 1 week or 2 weeks or this or that and just judge everything based off of that. I think we just got to look for the next moment, like I said before.
Those 2 touchdowns at the end of the game in Cleveland, pretty quick touchdowns. Yeah. What was working there that maybe you can use in those red zone moments?
Well, we thought we were moving the ball pretty well. We just, we weren't getting touchdowns, unfortunately. And, I think obviously we were able to, score those 2 touchdowns. That was huge for us. I think the biggest thing is it's always about detail and execution. And this game is always about playmaking, finding one more play here or there. When we took the lead and we threw the touchdown down the middle, Calvin did a great job on that route. I mean, the detail of that, the timing of that, how many times we saw that. We talked about it, me and Calvin, before the game too, and just literally in the locker room right before we went out for the national anthem, just those moments. And I think that dialogue is everything, and just feeling it and guys making plays, and when the game's on the line, and we got to make a play for our team. We believe that we're going to make it every time. And that's our attitude, that's our mentality. We've shown that we can do that. We've shown that we've done that a few times. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win the game. And when we got the interception, we were like, okay, let's go win it. And unfortunately, that didn't work out. But I think we're looking forward to this week.
Russ, you were talking about just your conversation with Calvin. Along those lines, what have the conversations been like with a new guy like Mike Williams? And what more can you guys do to continue to make him an active part of this offense?
Well, I think the great thing is we got a great amount of really good receivers that can really make plays. We got trust obviously in George. We got trust in Calvin. We got trust in Van and what he can do. He's had a great year so far. We got trust in Scotty. And obviously, the addition, of Ben, recently over the past few weeks, and obviously big Mike Williams. I think it's a huge thing. Obviously, we trust him enough with the game on the line. Against the Commanders, that was huge, and so I think we can use him more. I think that getting him on the field is always a good thing because he's a monster out there. I think that he can make plays. At the same time, we have a lot of guys that we trust and can be out there all the time for us. So, I think the best part is that when I'm out in the huddle with those guys, man, I have so much confidence in each guy that we have because of their practice habits, and because of the work that they put into it. And so I think Mike's a great addition for us, and he's gonna prove that over the rest of the season.
Going back to Calvin, what have you kind of learned about him, or how have you seen him develop since you guys first started working together back in OTAs?
Diligence is everything. I think he's got an innate ability to put in the extra work. I think his ability to spend time on it, and his ability to get the extra work and process it and understand it. When we talk about it from the film room, and we study, film after practice and all the way from OTAs. We were watching film, me and Van and him and GP and those guys, and talking about those details. And then transferring it to the game when it comes up and shows up. He makes the play, and just I get so much trust in him because of the work that he puts into it. You know, he's earned that in every way. You know, he's just a great teammate. He's got great work ethic. He's got great belief.
Russ, you talked about trust. Have you had any conversation with George about the final play and what was going on there and how much you need him to be available as a point man?
Yeah, George is always trying to make a play. Obviously, I think you know, unfortunately, I believe that he was getting pushed out, and he was trying to get to the spot, and you know, so it's an unfortunate situation. You know, he was trying to get to the spot where I threw it to, and you know, he got carried out of the end zone on that, unfortunately. So I think he was trying to fight for the ball, you know, and unfortunately, it's an unfortunate situation. So we got so much belief in George. Obviously, he's proven that, and what he's able to do for us, man. He's one of the world's best at what he does, man. I'm glad he's our teammate.
After 11 games, you know, how do you avoid being maybe too predictable at times on offense?
Say it one more time.
After 11 games, you know, playing obviously more than half of the season, how do you avoid being too predictable at times on offense?
Yeah, I think it's a critical part to any offense. I think is the ability to, you know, change up looks and get to the same plays, and also change up looks and get to new things and everything else. I think we do a good job of that. I think that also too, you know, you always in critical moments you want to go with what you know. What's really good, and same thing with the defensive football. You know, that's what the great teams do. You know, they trust what they do, they trust what they know, and I think that, you know, as we're continuing to get better and better each week, I think that's a critical part to it. But obviously, as you're playing more divisional games and everything else, you know, to be able to manipulate the defense with different looks and everything else is really important, obviously. Because the more games you play, obviously, the more people understand what you're trying to do.
Mike was saying after the game in Cleveland that it maybe took you guys too long to warm up to it. You got to get started faster. How important is that this week going up against a Cincinnati team that on offense they can score quickly and put together a lot of explosive plays?
I think it's always about the mentality. I don't mean to be, you know, cliche in the thought process, but really this game's about the next shot, the next play, the next moment. It's not about you know, trying to multiply drives over and over again. It's just being great on this play, and that's how you get touchdowns. That's how you get conversions. That's how you stay successful. That's how you stay on the field over and over again. And I know that we were able to do that. We're able to move the ball efficiently and effectively, and I think that's an important thing for us. And I think that we can sustain drives in that way. We got a great chance of what we can do.
Do you think it will help the offense, maybe yourself, if you can streamline Justin's usage, down distance situation more than just seemingly whenever he comes in?
What's the question again?
Would it be easier to streamline it, saying he's coming in on certain downs, packages, whatever, rather than just
we have certain packages obviously for Justin, certain moments and all that, but you know, the game is a fluid game. You know, it's one of those things that as the game's going on, you know, we're just playing ball, and you know, I'm always ready to be out there, obviously ready to rock and roll, and when it's time for Jay to go in, you know, he's obviously going to make a great play for us, we believe. So I think that's just kind of my thought process, and I'm just receiving the calls, and let's go after it.
Russ, you got Hard Knocks running around here the last couple weeks. Does it bother you? Think about it at all?
No, you know, I think, you know, it's a great thing, honestly, because it gets you prepared for where we want to go. I think you have two choices, you know, a lot of times in these moments is you run from it, you fear it, or you embrace it and understand it's part of the process of trying to be great. You know, I think anytime a team or player is trying to be great in anything, you know, and as the seasons go on and, you know, playoffs and all the things that happen, there's more cameras, there's more lights, there's more things, there's more than that. And I've definitely experienced that over my career of different teams I've been on. And, you know, obviously in Seattle in particular, just the success of it all and the individual part of it all too is you embrace it, you get used to it. You don't, you know, it's just ball. We get to love what we do. It's authentic to what we do and what we care and the passion behind it. And man, we enjoy it and we embrace it and we just you do what we love to do, and that's played this amazing game called football that we're gifted with. You know, it's such gratitude at it, and so man, there's so many people that love this game around the world, obviously in America, but just around the world. And I think that to be able to be a Pittsburgh Steeler is an honor, it's a privilege. We're super grateful, we're thankful, you know, and it's obviously Thanksgiving, but it's just we're obviously thankful for that, you know, and I think it's important that we embrace it all and just understand that the higher we go, the more people that want to watch and see what we're doing.
You gonna watch?
What's it like to be in the middle?
Say again?
You gonna watch it?
I probably won't have time to watch it. Well, we're living it.
What's it like to be in the middle of playing 4 division games in a row like this?
It sounds like playoff football. I mean, it's just what it is. It's you know, I've been a part of something like this before, similar in some way and fashion, and I think it's just you just focus on this moment, and that's the part about this thing that we love, man. It's this moment. You know, it's not 3 games away from now. It's not 4 or 5 or whatever it is, and it's just right here today. And it was the same thing last week and the weeks before and all that. And when you have that consistency and thought process in your mindset, and especially as young players, I think it's such a critical part to the success in your mindset. And you know, we should be preparing like this in OTA's championship mindset part of it. We're preparing like this in one of the Latrobe. So it's just ball, and it's a great opportunity to embrace it. And as we go, we'll get closer and closer to each game, and all the games will add up, and we'll collect hopefully another win and do that in the right way, in the right fashion. And we got a really good football team we got to play, and so we got to respect that. We got to honor that, and it would be disrespectful to think too far ahead. We got to do this right now, and that's our process.